Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CC Productions. Just when you think it can't get any better football wise, with 3 NFL games this Thursday on Thanksgiving, you take a look at Friday in the college football schedule and you realize we've got a full slate of college football rivalry games for Black Friday. So, in honor of that, I took a look at the board. I found my 3 best plays, and I'm going to be sharing those with you so we can make some cash together. So, let's get right into it. First up, TCU goes to take on Oklahoma in Norman, and I'm going to be taking TCU plus 10. Reason for this is TCU, last year, they were getting ready for the Big 12 championship and eventually the college football playoff. Now they're trying to just make a bowl. So definitely quick 360 for them. Oklahoma on the other side of things, they thought they were going to be getting ready for a college football playoff game this year. Instead, they're just waiting some scenarios out to hopefully get into that Big 12 championship. But the big thing here, Dylan Gabriel got banged up last week in their game against BYU, as well as one of their receivers, Jaleel Farouk. So these guys are questionable throughout the entire week for Oklahoma. So that means they're missing practice reps, they're missing prep, and they're going to come into this. They're expected to play, but they're going to be coming into this a little banged up into that game. So when I take a look at that, you start to think, okay, this team's probably going to start slow. Quarterback wasn't taking those reps all week. They're getting used to things, probably going to start slow in this one. Then you take a look at it on the other side of the ball, and this is really where I think the game will be won. TCU up front, really good at running the ball. They've got a really good run game, averaging over almost 4.5 yards per carry, and Oklahoma has not been able to establish a great run defense all year. So I think TCU will be able to rely on their solid run game throughout the entire game, get that going, take the momentum out of Norman, Oklahoma, get it flipped onto their side, slow this game down quite a bit, and keep Dylan Gabriel and that Oklahoma offense off the field, especially when you factor in the fact, too, that they're playing for a chance to get into a bowl here. Even if they don't win this game, they're going to be gnawing and trying to do everything they can to get this win and get their season continued. Those are the reasons why I really like TCU plus 10 in this one, despite being on the road. Next pick, I got Tulane minus 3.5. This game, Tulane versus UTSA, is pretty much for the American Conference Championship, the AAC Championship. SMU is playing Navy, and they're like minus 18-point favorites. They're going to win that game. They're going to get in on that side. So the winner of this game is pretty much playing for the Conference Championship. So you take a look, Tulane is at home in this one, which is definitely key, and Tulane has a fantastic defense. They've only been giving up 18 points per game in this one. Now, I completely understand they're going up against a UTSA offense that's getting a quarterback who's completely healthy now, and they are really balanced. They do it well in the pass game. They do it well in the run game. But Tulane's defense is going to be too far outmatched for them, and I think Tulane will win that matchup. On the flip side of things, I do like Tulane on offense as well. They're a little banged up at the receiver position, but they should be getting some guys back. And UTSA is not good in the second half. Their secondary has not been great all year. I think Tulane will be able to throw the football on them, get momentum shifted into their side, and be able to put some points up in this one and let their defense, keep UTSA off the field, get them the ball quite a bit, and get a lot of possessions for them where they can score. Not to mention the stat that really sealed it for me, Tulane has only one loss at home this year, and that's to Ole Miss. So obviously, we've seen Ole Miss throughout the entire year. Very good football team. That is Tulane's only loss at home. So you factor in the fact that great defense at home, playing for a chance at the conference championship. I like Tulane to cover the spread here. Everything is going the Green Wave's way. Lastly, we got Oregon State. I don't know what they call this anymore. I think it used to be called the War, but you can't call it that anymore. So something boring like the Battle for Oregon. I digress. Anyway, this is probably the biggest game of the day. We got Oregon State going to Eugene to Autzen Stadium to take on the Ducks. My bet in this one is not on the over. It's not on the, even though I would like Oregon with the spread. My pick is actually Bo Nix over 308.5 passing yards. He's gone over this number in the last 3 games. Obviously, we've seen it. He is balling. This is going to be his last game in Autzen Stadium. He's going to want to ball out his last time he's there. Also, he's still pretty much, kind of in that Heisman running. It's him, Penix, Jaden Daniels, from LSU. Those are the 3 guys who are running for it here. So Bo Nix is still in the conversation there. He wants to have a big game to put that in the Heisman Committee's mind as he goes into that part of the season. So really expect him to air it out here, especially because Oregon State really, really good in rush defense. Oregon State comes in ranked 17th in rush yards allowed per game, but 63rd in pass yards allowed per game. That means they're going to be stuffing the run. They've got a good defensive line over there at Oregon State, and that means Bo Nix is going to be relied upon to get it to his athletes who are better than Oregon State's, and they're going to be airing that ball out all game. So really, really like this line for Bo Nix at 308.5. Think he's going to be able to clear it for multiple reasons. So it'll be fun to watch it as well, because who doesn't like watching a quarterback air the ball out and put up a ton of numbers and you make some cash with it. So that's why I like that one. And if you want to take the spread too, I'd probably take Oregon to like minus 13.5. I feel like that one's probably a good bet for you there. Oregon State, not as good on the road as they are at home. So I think Oregon would be able to pull out the spread there, but not technically my pick. Bo Nix is. So those are the 3 picks I have for these Black Friday games. Let me know your pick in the comment. Like the video if you enjoyed, and always be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my content. But until then, I will see you next time.